The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is the return of Errol Spence Jr. He gave an interview where he said he plans to fight in May of 2020, sometime around May 2020. So my question is going to be, what were your thoughts on Errol Spence Jr.? Will he return in 2020? And if he does, who should he fight? I'm going to start one off with Trill Dollar Bill.
Funny thing is, right? G text me in the group chat and it said, Trill, you still got Spence for the next 3 years. After we seen him yesterday on the boxing program, after they did a little interview with him. And I said, yes, if he stays in the house and rests. It's sad, man. It's sad. To me, Earl didn't look like the same Earl when we seen him last night. I could see the scars in his face. Shout out to these new TVs, man. These new TVs, you get to see everything. You know what I'm saying?
Facts,
This is crazy.
Seen the black eye,
All that. The scars and all that. Earl needs to rest. Nobody needs to be rushing Earl back. I know he got his pride. I know his ego, and it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? And when you're young, right? When you're young, you feel invincible. You know what I'm saying? I remember being young, man. You know, I used to break all my bones and I'd heal like in a week. You know what I'm saying? Now, I sprained the ankle. I was out 6 months. You know? Listen, when you're young, you think that you're invincible. You know what I'm saying? I just think time. You know what I'm saying? These belts don't make you a champ. It's what you feel in your heart. And in your heart, you feel you a champ, and you a champ. You know what I'm saying? Them belts, don't have these people rushing you in here to defend these belts, and you end up hurting yourself more, and you can't be there for the ones that really, truly love you, that's going to be with you when this sport is over, and that's your family. Take some time. The sport will be here. Take some time. That's all I say. Take some time.
Okay, so will we see him in 2020, and who should he fight?
If we see him in 2020, if they rush him in 2020, I don't want to see him in there with no top guy. I want to see him in there with the guy that sells me oranges at the Haymarket. That's what I want. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see him in there with no name guys. You know what I'm saying? If anything, I would love to see him take 2020 off. I have no problem with seeing him take 2020 off and then come back in there and fight a tune-up fight, and then he's talking about jumping back in. He don't want no tune-up fights. Yo, I watched that car crash. You was ejected from your Ferrari. That was a terrible, terrible car wreck. You had all type of facial injuries. You lost a couple of teeth. Listen, take some time off.
G? Yeah, to piggyback off of what Trill was just saying, that footage of that car crash was like, it's a miracle you were alive.
Correct.
And when they were interviewing him, he was talking about like he had pain all over his body. The way he was talking, he sounded like he still has pain all over his body. I'm gonna keep it 100. And I remember Ned, you know, shout out to our cameraman.
TV, baby.
He was making a joke, but he's kind of right. It sounded like he had a stroke, you know, like when you hear him, and shout out to Earl. I like Earl a lot. And I always highlighted, like, Earl always sounded like, you know, he just like was just drinking, and his words sometimes be a little slurrish. You can tell he's nice. This wasn't the same type of slurring. It was more like, it literally sounded like he just had a stroke. And so I don't think he's
Everybody's gonna be, excuse me, everybody watching this day and they know me, they know I had a stroke, so they're gonna be like, yo, Trill, how do you feel about that? You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying.
I feel like not a guy that had a stroke, but a guy that definitely took some had some trauma, some head trauma. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, originally I was like concussion, but I was like,
definitely, I agree with that.
Like he had a concussion, but I could rock with cameraman's assessment of the stroke. Either which way, he doesn't sound
you
fit.
had a stroke before?
Nah.
I had a stroke before. So that's what I was telling you. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like of a man that was concussed.
So it sounds like you're saying of someone who had a stroke. You mean someone who's having? Because that's something different.
Oh.
If they were having a stroke in the moment, then maybe their speech could be slurred or something. But someone who's had a stroke doesn't necessarily mean that they would sound the way Errol Spence was sounding last night. Is what the point that Trill's trying to make.
Yeah, no, I give you that. I give you
Okay.
that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying what I was entertaining cameraman's assessment, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, but what I'm saying is clearly he doesn't sound fit to actually compete on an elite level. So the fact that he called out Pacquiao and Garcia, I'm like, bro, just please take a tune-up fight. I'm not even mad. Like, I don't think anybody would be upset with you. Clearly, you need to heal. You know, if anything, I'll be cool if he took all of 2020 off, you know, just to heal up. But let's just say if he has to fight somebody, I'm going with Trill on this one. He needs to go just fight like an Uber driver or something. You know what I mean? Like something like someone that he knows he's gonna beat up, and it's just to get his arms moving, his body, like, you know what I mean, just to get used to punches. Like, he's not gonna take too much punishment. He's most likely gonna win. That's what he needs right now. He doesn't need a top elite level fight. Like, come on, Pacquiao, bro. Like, that's crazy. Like, and I get it. That's the ego talking. You know, for all I know, maybe, like, to be honest with you, I wouldn't even went to that fight. And I know he was supporting, you know, Jamel. But I would have stayed home. Like, you know what I mean? I would have stayed home because I wouldn't even want to paint a picture that, yo, there's now dents in the armor for people to see that. You know, like, just stay away from the media. Just heal up. Stay with family. You know, like, go back to your gym. Just keep it tight. Like, but once you go out there and so you're still calling out names and people going to pressure you like, oh, really? So you really want to fight the Terrence Crawfords, the Pacquiaos, the Garcias? You know what I mean? Like, don't do that to yourself, man. Just heal up and get better. I say skip 2020 and just focus on, 2021.
Look, I'm not going to sit here and play like I'm some speech recognition expert. I'm not going to sit here and act like I compared what Earl sounded like before the car accident and after the car accident. I'm not going to sit here and say I know what people are supposed to sound like. He sounded fine to me. I mean, he's never been the most articulate fella in the world. He's always had a twang in his speech. So I don't know how much of it is him, how much of it is the car accident. They did say that he had to have some dental surgery done, so I don't know how much of that is just the dental surgery and whatever that entailed. I don't know. I'll say this much. What I heard was no broken bones. What I heard is he was medically cleared. What I heard was he's already been in the gym, hitting the mitts and whatnot. Now, of course, you have people around you who are going to say, oh, you looking good. You still the champ. I don't know if he's still looking good. Maybe he is. I don't know. These are things that need to be answered. So, for me, he could come back in 2020. If he's medically cleared, hey, it's the doctor's job they put their reputation on the line. They open themselves up to liability and lawsuits if they clear him before he's ready, right? So if the doctors clear him, if he's passes the physical and he's sanctioned and they allow him to fight, who am I to say he can't fight? He's the champ of the world. But what I will say is he should fight someone that would allow him to showcase that he is 100%. Because if he goes in the ring against a Danny Garcia, if he goes in, which is the guy he said he still wants to fight because he was scheduled to fight him in January, he said he still wants Danny. He wants Pacquiao. He wants Terrence Crawford. Well, one, maybe your body is going to react a certain way that you can't foresee after the layoff, right? You don't want your body reacting that way against the top guys. Maybe you can survive the way Keith Thurman did if it's Jose Cito Lopez, right? See, because Thurman wouldn't have survived against anyone else that night. And that's not to take anything away from Jose Cito Lopez. Jose Cito Lopez is a very good fighter, and you can't mess around and beat Jose Cito Lopez. But my point is, that wasn't Manny Pacquiao in there. And we saw what happened when he got in the ring with Manny Pacquiao. It's not Danny Garcia in there. So I think he needs to come back with an easy fight if he does decide to come back. And when I say an easy fight, I'm thinking, Amir Khan, you just gotta touch that chick, and he gonna fall, something like that. But being realistic, I would be okay with him taking 2020 off. But if he does fight in 2020, it should be a fighter who's going to allow us to gauge whether or not he's still in the elite class or whether or not he's taking a step back. And really, it should be a fight to let him know if he should continue his boxing career or if he should retire. Because truthfully, in the past, we've seen Diego Corrales die in a motorcycle accident. We've seen Paul Williams become paralyzed from his motorcycle accident. We've never seen a guy survive the accident the way Errol Spence has in the prime of his career and then still have time to come back and actually fight. So this is a rare situation in itself, and I just hope that it's handled correctly because I don't want anything bad to happen to Spence.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you for watching Boxing Bros. You can check out our podcast on all major streaming services, and you can check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Please leave a comment. Tell us what you think. It's the Boxing Bros. Signing out. Take care of yourself, Earl, and your family.